Hello, hi, very good morning. My name is Sam and welcome to Science Institute of Education. Today, we'll be discussing a few things about IELTS. I have had numerous queries from people from social media saying that how to write an effective essay, how to present ourselves in terms of speaking module, right? And many people have been getting a low like their band scores are not that effective what they want. So I thought to give it an insight about basically what do examiners need, like how you really need to, write an effective essay or how you need to do your speaking test, right? There are certain things that we'll be looking at completely, okay? And I will definitely go step by step so that you can understand in a very easy method. Now, first of all, let's discuss something about writing task two. Writing task two is basically an essay. You need to write an essay. Now, in this, as you are very well aware, when writing task two, you get 1 hour. In this 1 hour, you have to write two things. That is task one, bar representation, right? All that stuff, and task two. Now, in terms of how we can write it down, you have basically 1 hour. So you split in, like it's written over there, 20 minutes for your task one and then 40 minutes on your task two. This is very important. I wouldn't say that task one is not important. It is, but this carries double the weight, right? So when you're getting marked, you're basically getting marked like task one plus task two divided by three. That comes up to be overall writing module score. So task two carries your double the weight, right? So for example, if you get five in task one, you get six over here, so your writing band comes up to be six. So make sure you understand each and every topic in essay. Now, majority of students they fail to get a good band score in writing only because they don't do planning. Planning is very important in writing. Now, essay. I'll tell you a very easy trick today that you can employ to write an effective essay. First of all, whenever essay comes to you, you know it. You can never write it unless a statement is given to you. A statement, there will be a statement which may have either a journal topic or some people's argument. This is how you'll be getting a statement in your essay. Why it could be a journal topic, that what we call as observation. I just write it. Or it could be an argument. That's, let's say, we abbreviate with A O. Right. And then you will be having some instruction words. Those are the types of essay that you'll be getting. Right. There are six types we'll be discussing. So those instruction words, those we call as demand. So we abbreviate with D. Now, either you can have a topic in which you will have journal topic, journal statement, argument, as well instruction words. This will be definitely there because this is how the examiner want you to write an essay, right? For example, like advantage, disadvantage, agree, disagree, and all the stuff. Or you can simply have argument, instruction words. If you're getting discuss both views type of essay, so you'll be having argument plus argument and then instruction words, right? So let's look on those things in detail. I hope this one's clear to you. Just remember this O, A, and D. Now, in terms of demand, that is your instruction words. First one is agree, disagree types. In there are two different options that can come to you. Do you agree or disagree? Or to what extent Do you agree or disagree? To what extent? To what extent in this essay you have an option, either you can go on one side or you can go on partial as well. Why? Do you agree or disagree? This means you go on one side. Now, first of all, many students think that when the topic comes, do you agree or disagree, which means we have to go on one side only, right? And then when the topic has demand like to what extent do you agree, disagree, then we have to go partial only. No, it's absolutely not, right? What the examiner wants is basically your clear opinion. This is what the like this is very important. Now, I have seen, do you agree, disagree? People pick either agree or disagree. Then they write their essay entirely on the same thing, like body paragraph one, body paragraph two. Then to what extent do you disagree? They go partial. Two paragraphs about agree, one paragraph of disagree, and then, no, that's it's up to you if you want to do it. But the best part is basically you're wasting your time. Okay, the best part is that you write only two paragraphs. Two body paragraphs is more than sufficient. What you can do is, in order to show your like if you are going with one thing more and going with the less thing, like the second one, use modal verbs over there. That's how you can do it, rather than wasting too much time and writing another paragraph in which then you again have to think about an example to give. Okay, we'll discuss that. Second, today this is what we'll be covering: agree, disagree, advantage, disadvantage. In this, you get two types of topics. Right. First is non-opinion. Non-opinion would be what are the advantages and disadvantages. This is a non-opinion topic because instruction words are starting from what. Second would be do. The advantages outweigh the disadvantages. So that is an opinion, because it's a question mark coming and it sounds like do the advantages outweigh disadvantages, you would definitely be saying yes, why, or no. Obviously, you're not going to write yes and no, but you'll be writing, like, in my opinion, the advantages carries more water or more weight or anything like that. Right. So that's your second advantage, disadvantage. Third, that's your discussion based. Now, discussion based is basically your A, and B. Argument, argument, demand. So, instruction words will be discuss both views and give your opinion. In this, you'll be getting two arguments. Like, some people say something while others say on the same content they have a different opinion. Right? That's the topic you'll be getting. So, and then it will be give your opinion, discuss both views and give your opinion. So, which means in paragraph one, you need to discuss why the first statement, those people, they are discussing this thing. And then secondly, while the others, they are having an contrasting view. So, why are they having that thing? You give your opinion, right? I'll be telling you where you need to give your opinion in order to improve your band scores, right? So, argument, your demand. That's a third. Fourth one, problematic. So, problem, solution. Now here, if your personal pronoun is asked in the instruction word, then you will be writing, in my opinion, these are the solutions. Otherwise, you don't. Majority of time, keep it like this essay. Right? This essay will be doing it definitely. Right? This essay will suggest some solutions. Okay? So, problem solutions means that there will be some kind of statement. The instruction would be what are the problems and suggest some solutions. So then you can write about some issues that can erupt and then solutions. The fifth one is your causes, effects, or solutions. Now, it could be either causes or effects or causes and solutions. So, reasons and effects, and the reason and solution. Never it will happen that you'll be having all these three things asked at the same time, right? It could be either there. What happens is you may get a problem in the statement, and then problem will be asked, like the demand will be what are the reasons for this, right? And how it can be eradicated, how it can be tackled, or what are the reasons for this, and like how is it affecting people's lifestyle or children's lifestyle or anything. That's those are the effects, right? And the last one is your direct questions, I call them direct questions or two-part questions. Now, these are questions which are directly, these are most probably your opinion based, right? So, sorry. So it will be like sounding, what are the positive and negative points of it? Or do you think the positive, it is positive development or negative development? Or you'll be like, how is this thing, costing you? Why is this thing happening? Right? So direct opinion based topics it will be. Why is this happening? And what do you think can be done, or why people should not be doing this, right? So all like it will be mixed up, like direct questions. Normally like journal students they get it, but very rare like it comes to academic, right? So academic students tell you you'll be last like out of these five only. Okay, now this was all about like the instruction words, the demand. What kind of demand do we get? Six types we discussed. Now let's look at the structure. Structure of essay. In structure of essay, we see various things. Now, first of all, paragraph 1, right? This is paragraph 1. That is your introduction. Let's discuss each thing in detail. Introduction paragraph has to be so appealing that examiner just it just catches his eye that okay, this is good, right? Now introduction has to have, I'm going to give you a very simple thing to remember. Entire essay you're gonna write in 14 to 16 sentences. Believe me, how hard it is not to write 14 to 16 sentences. I'll be explaining you each now, right? I do it with all my students who are starting, right? So I always tell them 14 to 16 sentences is what you're going to be playing around with. Now, introduction, right? Second, we'll be understanding in depth whatever we'll be looking at. Paragraph 2 is your main body paragraph, right? This is, we'll be talking about one side. Now I'm writing this for a reason. I'll explain you. Paragraph 3 is your main body paragraph 2. That's on the other side. And then paragraph 4, finally conclusion. This thing itself carries 0.5 band. Never leave it in your essay. When you're attempting a paper, never leave it, because it's just conclusion itself carries 0.5 band. Right. Okay. So introduction, first paragraph, second paragraph is your main body paragraph 1. You'll be writing one side on the one side, then on the other side. Why? Because if you present an argument, right? If you're not talking about problem solution and everything, right? Problem solution, causes, effects, we don't talking about that. If you're presenting argument, especially in terms of agree, disagree, right? Discuss both views. Now, as you can see, they are already asking you two different sides, but agree, disagree specifically, remember, if you present an argument, chances of getting a higher band score is more likely to happen, right? If you just write, for example, agree, question comes, do you agree, disagree? You say that, okay, I agree with this statement. And body paragraph 1, you write of agree. Body paragraph 2 also you write with agree. And then you conclude, so these are the reasons for which I agree. You're not going to get more than 5.5, 6 band, no matter how much grammar you introducing into it, you're not going to get, because task response is not achieved. Task response say agree, disagree. Obviously, there are other people who are having a contrasting opinion. We haven't discussed about them, right? So what's the best part of writing that thing? One side you're discussing, I'm agree. Then simple body paragraph 2, why you're not disagreeing. That information is supposed to get very important. Remember, second body paragraph, why are you not disagreeing? So obviously some people are disagreeing to it. Just you need to write on BP2 in that one. You need to cite, however, there are others who have a different opinion as they believe this. However, my school of thought does not find favor with them as I believe. Then you can just put on your second point. But at least you showed an argument. This simple 2-3 sentences is going to improve your band score. Okay? We will definitely cover that in any essay. Now, these, I hope, paragraphs are clear, but let's do in detail now. What kind of information? Introduction, how we need to write, how we need to gain marks. In introduction, basically, when you're given a statement, right? When you're given a statement, we need to start. If it's possible, then I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but this always leads to a good impression. Whenever you're writing an essay, remember one thing, coherence. Coherence is logic. That's your second clause in marking criteria. Whatever sentence you're starting from, introduction, the next sentence, every sentence need to depend on the previous line. Whether it's similarity you're going or contrasting you're doing, comparison you're doing, your contradiction is happening. Doesn't matter. But every sentence has to depend on the previous line. This is known as developed response. If you see the marking criteria, right, this is known as developed response. Now your response is developed only when you're saying something, you're explaining it, what you said, and you further explaining it what you said previous. Then you give a support by an example, and then you give a result. That is a developed response. It doesn't mean that you write multiple ideas in body paragraph. That will reduce your band score because everything is overgeneralized, nothing specific. Okay. So what are those things? Introduction. So first sentence, never start your essay from nowadays, these days. Never start your essay with that. These are overgeneralized expressions. Okay. Always start with some linkers, beautiful linkers. We'll be doing so. Journal sentence. Now we discussed 14 to 16. Journal sentence. That's your first. It means a fact. Now, fact is something that has either happened already or is happening right now. In future, it's not a fact because it's yet to happen. So, first of all, journal sentence, right? Secondly, we'll be doing just one simple example to understand this. Second, you need to paraphrase the topic, the sentence topic that is given to you, right, by the examiner. That's what you need to paraphrase. Now, depending on if you are given opinion in the essay, then give your opinion. What is your opinion? You agree, you disagree, you think the advantages are more, disadvantages are more, or whatever, right? And the last, this one is most important. Simple, I would say, definitely it will improve your 0.5 band score. That is your outline sentence. Outline sentence. Not many people teach to students. I'm telling you, I'm honestly telling you because I've seen numerous videos on YouTube. I've been to many even institutes as well. Not many people teach you about the outline sentence, right? Outline sentence means like giving your opinion, clear opinion. It means it's not that I agree. Then you have to mention why do you agree. What kind of information you're going to provide in body paragraph 1 and 2, what entire essay is going to talk about. You have to mention clearly in your introduction only to get 0.5 bands. Believe me, many students just say, like, right, in my view, advantages are more than disadvantages, and this essay will represent that. That is an overgeneralized thing. That's not clear. But why are you saying that advantages are more? You have to mention that. Even if you say, I agree with the statement and my views will be explicit in the upcoming paragraphs. No, that is also not a clear opinion. It doesn't mean that you have your opinion does not mean that you agree or you disagree. It doesn't mean that. Clear opinion means that why are you agree then? Why you disagree then? Even if you're going partly, then why is it happening? That is something your clear opinion means. Right? Now just remember this. I hope you must have written. I will explain you what clear opinion actually means. Okay? So journal sentence with a linker will be writing, paraphrasing the topic, give your opinion, outline sentence. Okay? Now let's write one of the examples. Let's see. This is going to improve the structure. Basically, you'll be getting the structure in cohesion. That is known as cohesion, right? Structure in which you'll be gaining marks. Let's write a dummy topic. That's my hot favorite topic, right? Many students of mine already know this, but I'll just still use it. Let's say life was life was better when technology was easier. To what extent do you agree? Life was better when technology was easier. To what extent do you agree? Now, when a topic like this comes in, okay, first of all, we need to do planning. Planning involves, right? You get 10 minutes to plan, 40 minutes for task two. I mean, how hard it is to plan your essay for 7, 8 minutes. When you plan, when it comes to writing, you still have 20 minutes, right, to write your essay. In 20 minutes, people they write like 14 to 15 minutes they take to write their essay. They still save some time to read. You must practice on writing this way only. Time foundation, right? Otherwise, I have seen many students, they end up writing their task one only for half an hour, and then they get about half an hour to write task two. This is not sluggish. You don't need to do that, right? 14 to 15 minutes they write in their essays. Once your points are clear. Now, what happens? You read the topic. 99% students, right? It's human nature, but I'm telling you, 99% students, what they read the topic, they'll be like, it's so easy. I can start writing. Come on, let's go. No time to read, and then like, did I miss something? Oh, my task two was very good. My writing task was so easy. They come back to your friends, they share their stories. Oh my God, you would believe it was so easy. Man, definitely I'm gonna get 6.5 pen, 7 pens, or 7 pen. The result comes 5.5. Then they start blaming IELTS. Like they just want to make money and blah blah blah. They say so many things, but they never think about like they have actually done some kind of mistake. Right, and the mistake is that when you start writing, what happens? Our brain gives us numerous ideas, and we think that we are relating, but we forget to make a relation with the previous things. That's why I said that we need to be writing essays in that way that every single line we're writing get depend on the previous one. It has to be done. Okay. Now, let's see how. When you are planning, first of all, you need to look for two things. First is keyword, on which journal sentence will be made. Second is micro keyword. Micro keyword helps you to be precise with your ideas. That's what happens with micro keywords. Now let's see here. Life was better when technology was easier. Okay. So now as we can see keyword. Keyword is the one word, definitely one word that is highlighted in the topic. And over here, people would say life. No, it is technology basically. Because life is depending on this. Right. Life was better when technology was easier. Technology, that is your keyword. Okay. So journal sentence will be making on technology. Second. Now what are the micro keywords? It could be 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter, but these are also specific. It needs to be read very carefully. Life was better when technology was easier. Okay. Life was better when technology was easier. Now as we can see, life was better when technology was easier. So which means easier is your micro keyword, not life, right? Easier. Why am I saying? Because see, technology was still there back then. If we write anywhere in our essay that previously we didn't have mobile phones, which means we didn't have communication, now we are happy that we have. So it's easy, we save time. Then band score will be reduced. Because the topic is saying that it was there, technology was existing before, but it wasn't that complicated, right? So now let's come up to our introduction. We will be starting with journal statement, right, as we discussed with a linker. So let's say it is ubiquitously accepted. Now that's a linker, right? It is ubiquitously accepted. Ubiquitous means global, something at present everywhere, right? So it is ubiquitously accepted. What now? See, as you can see, I'm not starting with nowadays, these or anything like that. So we are going to write about technology. There is no journal statement given, right? It's just a statement. It seems that obviously comparison is happening. So some person, right, some group of people, they are giving these kind of statement, right? So it is ubiquitously accepted that there has been a significant advancement in technology, right? It is ubiquitously accepted that there has been a significant advancement in technology from past few decades. Now that's a general statement. Now obviously it is a fact. Nobody can deny that. So you can also use that over here. Nobody can deny the fact that. That is also linker. Nobody can deny the fact that. Nobody can gainsay this fact that. Right? It is an irrefutable fact. Right? You can use that one as well. Right? It is an irrefutable fact that there has been a significant advancement in technology from past few decades. Right? The pronunciation is decades. Okay? Decades. Right. Now, this one is your general statement, which is not given in the topic, but we are making it. Why we are making it? Because we are going to paraphrase now this one. Okay. Now, life was better when technology was easier. Technology. So, first of all, let's understand who is going to be the one who will be speaking this sentence. Right. Obviously, not the adults or the children. It will be the gray hair one. Right. So we can bring those people into it, and we can simply write some gray haired, right? Now, either you can write some gray haired cohorts, COHORTS. Cohorts means group of people, right? Some gray haired cohorts opine that their time, right? Some gray haired cohorts opine that their time used to be far better when technology was less advanced. That's your paraphrase the topic. So life was better when technology was easier, right? You can also write some gray-haired cohorts opine that their time, right? Their time, so life, their time used to be more fruitful, right? Far better when technology was less advanced. Now this is something you're paraphrasing the topic. Sentence two, as we are still writing sentence two, right? Okay, so our point clear. It is ubiquitously accepted that there has been a significant advancement in technology from past few decades. Some gray-haired cohorts opine that their time used to be far better when technology was less advanced. Okay, so I have this one's clear. Now I'm just going to rub the topic so I can write my opinion, but it's in the same introduction. Okay, let's continue from here, right? In the same. Now, what do we think? Do you think that the life has actually gone better now? Like life is actually you're enjoying now or you're enjoying previous time? I say definitely I disagree to the statement. Life was better when technology was easier. No, I disagree to this. I totally disagree to this. Why? Because now, like we are saving time. We have better medical facilities because of which now everything, remember, we need to develop it, right? We have better communication. Okay, with mobile phones, obviously what we have done is we don't no longer need to write letters and go to the post office. Then we can also say, and we have better medical facilities available due to which people are having longevity, right? Then we can also talk about other like computers and all that stuff, right? Because of which education has also got advanced. So there are n number of things we can buy. We can nowhere say that okay, yes, the previous time was better. What we can think of only socializing? No, with basically like these gadgets we have become more socialized. It is our own preference that we are not going to each other's home. Why? But we have been connected with them. So there's a very weak point that comes in mind, like like people even can say that okay, in previous era the food was good. Now everything is modified. Now even genetically food, it has been laboratory tested, they are actually good, right? So we get n number of points to disagree this topic. So what kind of vocabulary we can use? I completely disagree with their belief. Okay. Now just I told you, opinion has to be clear. Okay. Outline sentence. Remember, this is your opinion, right? You give your opinion, but now what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert it into a complex sentence, right? I'm going to join my outline sentence and opinion correctly. In short, you'll be having a complete opinion. I completely disagree with your belief as it is because of computers, people are living better lifestyle, right? Because of computers, people are living better lifestyle. People are living a better lifestyle. Okay, how? So let's say firstly, this essay will exhibit means show. Firstly, this essay will exhibit how mobile phones, what do they do? Save us time. Followed by how internet has improved education. Now that is your entire introduction. I know that many people out there, will be thinking that, oh my God, it's a lengthy introduction and you're not required to do that, blah, 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 right? Now, screw that. Seriously, okay? I have had proofs. When you're giving your outline sentence, now I tell you why it is important outline sentence. I hope you must have written this. Let me now tell you why outline sentence has to be there. This simple logic is going to make you clear why it is so imperative. See, for example, you go to library, right? Or you go to a bookshop. Okay. Now you want to buy yourself a book. Let's say of essays only, right? Since you're preparing for IELTS, so you go and buy a book for your essays. Okay. Now, when you go to the bookstore, you look at a book which is like this thick. Okay. Are you going to go through all the pages of it? What kind of essays that book is having? No, you're simply gonna go for the introduction. Agree? Right. When you are going to the introduction, if that introduction says only these sentences, this book is about essays. That's it. Only this thing is written. This book is about essays. How would you feel? Will you be buying it? Obviously, any book so far has ever come in introduction if you get only this kind of journal written, right? No. You will be having definitely some contents. Agree? Like this book talks about essays related to homework, school children, library, science, and all that stuff. So that is your precise information. Okay, that is what outline sentence means. Now, how it is beneficial, let's understand to get you bank scores. What does outline sentence do? Does task response. That's the first clause in writing marking. Task response, third clause says there's only three clauses which are marked from 0 to 3, 0 to 3, 0 to 3. That's for task response only. Then you have others also, equaling to 9. Task response, third clause say, has the student, answered each and everything in detail and how he has answered. That's an outline sentence. Second, in that comes cohesion. Cohesion means structure. In that second clause comes. Has the student, first clause says student has made the paragraphs? Yes. What paragraphs? That information, these paragraphs. So which means the first body paragraph will have this is your point, this is your result point. So he has made. Then after that, this is BP1, the student is going to write. Then internet, that's your point 2, and that's your result 2. Right? So student has made point 1, result 1, point 2, result 2, which means two body paragraph will be there, and these kind of informations will be there. Now, how it will be there? Coherence. That's your logic. Right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Simple. You're gaining 0.5 back. That is why outline sentence is necessary. This is what I always encourage my GT students to do it in order to get 777. Like rest other modules are different, but 7 bands in writing module. Your just remember one thing. Outline sentence means take this thing off in your mind that okay, I have to write opinion, outline sentence. What is outline sentence? No, don't think like that. Think your opinion has to be very clear. You have to have a clear opinion. What you're saying, why you're saying, right? Why you're saying means that you will be writing a sentence, right? Something that will be highlighting what the body paragraphs are going to talk about. Don't write in journal that my views will be, right? No, what view are you speaking? That thing needs to be there. Okay, right. So I hope introduction now to you is very clear. Some vocabulary words for this we use: I agree, I disagree. I agree with the view, I disagree with the view. Right. Now, what happens when we come to partly agree, partly disagree? Right. Now we over say, I partially agree to this, and my views will be no, again wrong. Whenever you are writing partly agree, you don't need to actually write partly agree. Right. You can simply write a statement like, I agree with this view, however, I also believe. Then you write the other thing. Right. Or you can simply say, I agree to a point. That with the first sentence or anything, right? Then use a semicolon. However, right? Use semicolon, then comma, because after every connector there is a comma. However, I also believe, then your second. This sentence completely is representing your partial statement. We need not write all the time, I partly agree to this and my views will be. That is again, you're confusing. It's basically confusing structure. This one is your clear thing. I agree to a point, which means that you're not agreeing, like fully. I agree to a point that this things, semicolon, however, semicolon always comes, that gives you marks in punctuation whenever you have a complete statement before. Remember, complete statement before. Don't just write one or two words and then put semicolon just because you know that I have put in front of however. No, it has to have a complete statement. So I agree to a point that this is says, however, I also believe. Okay, you can use also but over here, doesn't matter, right? But with but, what will happen? You'll put a comma and then you, I also believe. That's only difference. Okay. Let's do an example for this thing so we can move on. I agree and I partly disagree. Example, let's write some people argue. Let's talk about violence. That the amount of violence shown in films and on television. So some people argue that the amount of violence shown in films and on television has led to an increase on television, has led to an increase in violent crimes, has an increase in violent crimes in society. Do you agree with this argument? Right. So, opinion. Let's write opinion. Now, some people argue that the amount of violence shown in films and on television has led to an increase in violent crimes in society. Right. Violent crimes in society. We are watching things on TV and films. This is an increase. So now, what kind of people do you think are basically responsible for this? Or think about that. What kind of people are responsible? So who's doing the crime? Obviously, we can see the children are starting to do criminal activities. They are doing your pickpocketing and all that stuff. So some kind of petty crimes are there, right? It's leading to that. So which means the children are the only one who are getting influenced by the TV. So who's responsible? Parents. Parents are also responsible for not supervising them, right? Now how we can write that? Just the outline I'm writing. Okay, no general statement or anything. Same vocabulary I'm using. I agree to a point. Let's say I agree to a point that movies and television. I agree to a point that movies and television have an impact on the mindset, on the mindsets, an impact on the mindsets of many viewers. Obviously, viewers, not people. People, I would say all the time. viewers, especially, so who are those viewers now? This is where development comes into place, right? Especially children, right? Children or young ones, children and young adults. Now that's my first part. Okay, I agree to a point that movies and television have an impact on the mindsets of many viewers, especially children and young adults. Now, let's do like partial right. So, what I'll do, I'll just simply say here, but, right, but it is the parents, right? We can also write, but it cannot be, remember, cannot, we can never use contractions in essay like can't, don't, and all those things. But it cannot be neglected, right? But it cannot be neglected that the adults around these people, so adults around these people are equally responsible, that adults around these people are equally responsible for monitoring, right? For monitoring, for not monitoring, sorry, for not monitoring what kind of media they are watching. So that's your opinion, right? This is how you explain your partial agreement. Now, after reading this, obviously, every examiner would get a clear picture that you are going partially. I have not written, that I partially agree to this or anything like that. I have given my opinion straight away. Okay, so you need to be very precise while giving your opinion. So, which means that anybody, right? Well, like anybody can have a good insight, like what you really want to say. That is how these things need to be written, right? So I agree to a point that movies and television have an impact on the mindsets of many viewers, especially children and young adults. But it cannot be neglected that the adults around these people are equally responsible for not monitoring what kind of media they are watching. Then I can explain. Now, as you can see that yes, mindsets, how they're improving, how they're actually affecting the mindsets of people. Then in BP2, I will be talking about the, like the parents and all. Okay, right. Now, let's discuss quickly the body paragraph structure of task 2. Body paragraph. The structure of body paragraph is basically the structure of body paragraph is structured. So first is you need to state your point using a linker. Linker means to initiate, right? To commence, to begin with, right? These kind of linkers you can use. Second, you need to explain your point by using like again linkers. These are redundant languages need to be used to explain this depending on how what kind of sentence you're this kind of making. This is because, right, owing to be precise, the core of their argument is, and so on. There's numerous. Third sentence, you need to further explain, your point. That point, explain, further explain. Now, how I generally always advise, but depending, not 100 times, right? 100%. Use in other words, right? Now, in this context explanation, you'll be writing a sentence that will sound positive. In other words, write a sentence sounds negative, just the opposite of this. In other words, if, so obviously in this you'll be using conditionals, if, should, when. So which means if the, in explanation you're talking about that, okay, this is because this thing has been used, it leads to this thing. In other words, if this thing is not used, then it may lead to something bad or like that kind of things. And with that comes in your example. Right. Example, now you can use to exemplify, for instance, right? For example, right? Any study, this is borne out by a report that was, this is borne out by a survey that was conducted by this thing. You can do a survey, you can do a news article, or it could be any, like a complete good example, relevant example. Need to be there. Yes, every body paragraph needs to have an example, because that's, if you read band difference between band 5 and band 8 in IELTS, right? Marking criteria, you would see in band 7 it's written that student has written well supported response. Support means your example. Okay. Number 4 is that, and number 5, last sentence in your short summary. Short summary means, as a result, never use so. Never use so. That's informal. As a result, therefore, thus, hence, anything you can use. Right? This is your body paragraph 1. Same structure, body paragraph 2, linkers would change. Right? For body paragraph 2, because you will be contradicting your points, so you can use however, nevertheless, on the contrary, right? Contrarily, on the other hand, right? On the flip side, anything you can use. That's for BP2, right? Body paragraph 2. Same thing again, right? You're convincing your points. And finally, your conclusion, that would have only for 2 sentences. Okay, I have covered up in 2 of my videos on my YouTube channel, right? You can see Science City of Education by Sam on YouTube. Over there, I have written 2 essays, problem solution. I'll be uploading definitely more essays, right? I'll just write down my YouTube channel for subscription. It's Sci Institute of Education by Sam. Why? That's my YouTube channel, and these are the numbers: 91 in India, 95179 30029, or 99144 You can contact us by calling or WhatsApp. You can send us a WhatsApp message also. We have our Facebook also account on the Science of Education. It will be, you can search it by Sci Academy 237 on Facebook. Right? So these are our contact information. Science of Education by Sam, our YouTube channel, right? And then 95179 30029 or 99144 These are the numbers. Okay. Now, let's start with speaking. Speaking. Now IELTS speaking. Now basically in IELTS speaking, we all know that we have part 1, introduction, part 2, cue card, part 3, you have your follow. If anyone doesn't know, I'll just tell you quickly. Speaking test will always be conducted on the next day, next day after your exam, like listening, reading, and writing, or it can happen anytime before that, depending on how soon you book your examination. So it generally lasts about 10 to 20 minutes, right? In part one, introduction, there are a few set of questions that will be asked regarding you, likes, dislikes, this kind of questions will be asked. Q card, you'll be given a topic in any particular tense. You have to speak on it for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Right. Follow-up questions are basically discussion-based questions. Okay. These are simply discussion-based questions, follow-up. Okay. Now let's see in depth what we have to do here. So what does examiner want in this speaking? Why do we get less band scores? The very first is, see in this you have marking. Your first one is pronunciation. That's your first marking. Then you have your fluency and coherence. Then you have your lexicals. Then you have your grammar. This is how you are judged. 9, 9, 9, 9. Total 36 divided by 4 is equal to 9 band scores. That's how you get judged. You need to have a good pronunciation. If you're not having it, practice it, right? I have a video of pronunciation regarding IELTS, few words, right, over there. You can have a look and start pronouncing. I've created some spellings by which you can actually pronounce those words, right? Secondly, fluency, coherence. What is fluency? First of all, let's say talk about pronunciation. Each thing. Student need to use contractions to increase the pronunciation power, right? Contraction in writing task, I told you not to use it. Over here, yes, you have to use more. So pronunciation, how, what is your name? My name's, first name, last name. For example, my name's Sam Lekhi. Rather than my name is Sam Lekhi, I'll be right. My name's Sam Lekhi. Okay. So do you think you can? Oh yes, absolutely I do. Like I'd love to. I would like to. No, I'll simply like I'd. It pronounces I'd. E-Y-E-D. I'd. I'd. Right? I'd love to do that. Right? So these are some contraction things that increase your sorry, pronunciation power. Right? Other thing, sorry, some people say that like I literally had to do my baraka because of this thing. Don't stress on the last word, work thing. Don't do that. Okay. Excuse me, just because of the Diwali festival. Okay, so I'd, right, my names. I have seen, right? I have seen many people rather than I have seen. Even there will be few things. Sorry. Um, like we say, work and all. I'm pretty much busy with my work and all, right? Rather than that, I can just simply sound, I'm pretty much busy in my work and all. Work and all. So it will be sounding as I'm pretty much busy in my work and all. Work and all, right? Rather than work and all, right? I'm pretty much busy in my work and all, right? So with that, obviously the D is going to have the kind of emphasis. We don't want to do that. Work and all. You can say that. Right. So first of all, do this. Have a practice of using contractions. Like, do you play hockey in your spare time? No, I don't. Right? I don't like this activity. Right? Then you can explain it and why you don't. Rather than I do not. Right? Can you like can you prepare some dishes like in a fast way or anything? No, I can't. Unfortunately, I never had interest into this thing. Right? How contractions can come easily when you, very important, do not repeat any question asked. Simple as it is. When you do not repeat any question asked, whatever question, whether it's your introduction, whether it's a follow-up question, right? Do not repeat any question. You need to give your answer, right? Always focus on answer. Do not repeat your question. For example, this question: do you like listening music? And you're responding. Now this is not good, but see how it doesn't sound good. Yes, I like listening music because it helps me to, let's say, it helps me to feel happy. Let's just say, right? It helps me to feel happy, or it makes me happy. Anything. Yes, I like listening music. Now, this is the thing I don't want you to do. Many people do follow this structure only. Yes, I like listening music because. Do you like cooking? Yes, I like cooking because. Right? Do you like to play outdoor game? Yes, I like to play outdoor game because. They always sound like here. Here, as you can see, the sound automatically becomes here. Yes, I do this because. Yes, I do that because. Yes, I do that because. Right? So it sounds very boring, and it sounds obviously that you have practiced it. Right? Whereas you can simply say, do you like listening music? Oh yes, I do. In fact, I listen like about half an hour, 45 minutes, every single day. It just helps me to work on my stress, whatever I gain from my studies. Simple. I'm giving appropriate pause after every sentence. And I'm varying my intonation. That is what's showing my confidence. If you don't like anything, for example, do you like cooking? No. This is something I never liked. I don't know, just I can't see myself standing in front of a dish to get made in like half an hour, 45 minutes. I don't have that much of patience, right? Then I'm not going to say, so I never like it. No, because that will be a repetition again. Because I already mentioned at first, no, I don't. Right? So I'm not going to repeat it again. So I don't like to do cooking. No. Okay. Yes, we can give negative responses. There was this 7 queries I had yesterday on YouTube. In the comment section, people were saying that we are not allowed to use, give negative responses. Yes, you can give negative responses. I mean, if question comes, do you like stealing? What is like? Yes, sometimes I do. When I feel like. Just because in your head, it's some people have already put in that you're not allowed to use negative responses. No, obviously, right? If you don't like to do something, like for example, okay, common question: do you like reading? People that don't even like reading, they would say, yes, I do. I have a lot of books at my home. You go to the home, you don't find nothing, right? If you don't like anything to say, do you like reading books? No, I don't. Apart from my curriculum, I don't have any interest in reading novels or anything like that. Those curriculum are for obvious reasons. I had to do it in order to pass my examinations. Finish. Right. So these kind of things you need to be very careful with. Never repeat any question. Now let's move on next. Fluency. Sorry. Fluency simple means, right? No fillers. Uh, 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 No. It doesn't matter whatever your speed is, right? You don't need to sound very fast. Like there's no rush. You're not catching any train, right? Even if you go slower, it's okay. Fluency never says that you need to be fast. Okay. Now, even if I give responses like, right, let's talk about gifts and presents. Do you like sending and receiving gifts? Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, I believe that it is a very nice gesture from someone, and I do like sending gifts on various occasions, depending on whomsoever I'm pretty close to, right? So slowly, politely, show your politeness to them. Right? Do you like any extreme sports? To be very frank, I have never done any, but if I do get an opportunity, I would definitely be doing river rafting. I have seen plethora of times on television, even on movies, that people have been doing it, and that's how I got interested into it. So let's just see, when do I get time to do it? Okay, right? So have a smile, that kind of confidence. You are having a conversation. Okay, you're allowed to do hand gestures. I mean, not too many. Like it won't be like there are a wide variety of things available. No. So be very calm, gentle, and talk. That's a confidence. Okay. Do you like any festivals? To be very frank, I have no interest in festivals anymore. It's because of the things that I have been witnessing from the past, in the few years as I was growing up. I have realized that people have not been, taking festivals so deeply. They are more into creating some kind of violence in the streets. Now, I have said something that criminal violence, so which means I need to be specific here, which means I'll be giving an example. For example, last year when I was going with my family in the car, luckily, I saw these people on Holy Festival throwing eggs and tomatoes, on others, and that was something very bad. Because of that, unfortunately, one old guy, was riding his scooty. He fell down. I ran out and I helped him out, and I abused the person who was doing it, and he ran his own. But this was something awful, right? So I am speaking in the way that I am expressing my grief, that how I felt that day. That emotions need to be represented while you're speaking. Your tone will be doing that for you. Give a pause wherever possible. Don't run after that I have to use connectors. Moreover, first of all, I always discourage my students specifically, never use moreover in your speaking. Have you heard any native speaker using it? Never. They're always like besides, apart from that, on top of that, they're only using this. Why are we using moreover, furthermore? Just because we use in writing task doesn't mean that you use everything in your speaking, right? We start from and, then we have as well, right? As well as, or as. You should never be showing that. I hope this one's clear. So never repeat your question. Now in speaking, there are, in introduction, you get few topics to talk about. Questions generally start from do you? For example, do you like? Obviously, dislike question would come. So do you like? Do you think? How you cannot repeat this thing by simply say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Right. For example, do you like cooking? Yes, I do. Don't say yeah, please. Don't use kids, please. Okay? Don't. Okay? So, do you like cooking? Yes, I do. In fact, I prepare scrumptious dishes for my friends and family on various occasions. Right? Now, this is not what I'll be finishing with, to be very frank. Yes, I do. In fact, I prepare scrumptious, it means delicious, right? Scrumptious dishes for my friends and family on various occasions. As you can see again, I used N, right? Pronunciation. So, yes, I do. In fact, I prepare scrumptious dishes for my friends and family on various occasions, right? Now, I have to represent my feeling into this, right? How I can speak that one is, I mean, I don't know how, I got so much of passion into this activity, right? I mean, I don't know how I got so much of passion into this activity. Believe me, every night dinner is prepared by me, right? So it's not necessary to speak this, right? But I'm just speaking because I have to represent my emotion. So here, let's say, do you like cooking? Yes, I do. In fact, I prepare scrumptious dishes for my friends and family on various occasions. I mean, I don't know how I got so much of passion into this activity. Believe me, every night dinner is prepared by me. Okay? So that kind of tone, that kind of passion, that kind of intensity what you're using, it's all about the modulation of your speech. That is known as your intonation, right? The way you sound. Okay? So that was like for yes, I do. No, I don't. Right. Now for likes and dislikes specifically, we can use some kind of expressions also. Rather than this is just a variety I'm showing you. It's not that you have to all the time use yes, I do, no, I don't. Then again, repetition of your response. Right. We can use leading phrases over there. Yes, yes, absolutely. Not deliberately using twice. Yes, yes. Then absolutely. Right. Oh, then interjection also you can use. Oh, yes, absolutely. Right? Like for example, do you like extreme sports? Totally. Right? We can also start from that, but that definitely will be showing from your tone, right? Totally. I'm so much fond of, right? So expressions were like I'm very fond of, very, quite. You can also use I'm quite fond of, I'm quite or very passionate about, right? I'm really enthused about or in depending. Enthu means enthusiastic, right? But I was still using I'm really enthu about this thing, right? Passionate. I'm really into. See, these things are basically I'm using it to create a kind of effect. I'm really into rather than I'm into movies. Huh? How much you don't know, right? I'm really into movies. So this really, really quite this thing needs to be emphasized. So which means that like do you like extreme sports? I'm quite passionate about river rafting. I'm quite passionate about bungee jumping. I'm quite passionate about, right? So you can name any. I'm very fond of reading novels, especially of Rabindranath Tagore. I'm really fond of reading these things. Right? So that is showing your intensity, how much you actually do like. So that is why we use for likes and dislikes. You like any actors or anybody, celebrity, so you can use. I'm a die-hard fan of. I'm totally crazy about Hrithik Roshan, for example. You can say I'm totally crazy about Hrithik Roshan. I mean, I just love the way he acts, the way he talks. I mean, so much reality he expresses of himself into the movies. He's really into the character. He dig himself into the character. You can use, right? He dig himself into the character, or he bury himself into the character, right? So these kind of things you can speak. Now that was about do you, right? That was the first type. Now then we also get like have you. So simple. Yes. Either you can simply yes, I have. In contraction, if you're using, definitely it will be right like this. Yes, I have. Right. But I'm not writing because the her thing will come. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Right. You can say no, I haven't. Similarly, are there, for example, many tourist attractions in your hometown? Yes, there are. There are. You can write plethora of um, rather than them. So yes, there are plethora of them. Do you like, are there many tourist attractions in your hometown? Yes, there are plethora of, plethora means many. Yes, there are plethora of them. No, I'm just saying, yes. Pause. Right? Yes, there are plethora of them. Often, often. Right? Yes, there are plethora of them. Okay, then you can begin. Yes, there are many. You can also say, are there many? Yes, there are many. Right? So you can also say no. Now, when you're, obviously when you're denying it, you can use two expressions. Unfortunately, right? Or somewhere, I'm afraid. Right? So yes, there are plethora of them. Or no, unfortunately, there aren't any. Right? No, unfortunately, then obviously your sound needs to drop down. So, are there many museums in a hometown? No, unfortunately, there aren't any. Right? I'm not saying there are many, right? Aren't any, which means there's none. So, there aren't, unfortunately, there aren't any. Actually, like my town is pretty small, having only a population of about like 1,000 people, right? So, you can express like that way. Okay. Similarly, you other have did you, right? So did you, once again you can do it. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Right? I was actually never into this thing. Actually, right? Basically, these kind of leading phrases you can use. Okay. When we talk about cue cards, simple formula you must have seen everywhere. PPF, past, present, future. Now remember one thing very important in introduction, your only tenses are checked. Sometimes I have heard students giving response, do you work or do you study? They say, I am a student. I have recently completed my studies or I have recently completed my graduation. First of all, this is a completely wrong sentence. I have completed my graduation. Graduation is only the date, the ceremony on which you receive your degree. Whether you are receiving your degree, whether you're receiving a diploma, and hell, the graduation ceremony is also taking place in primary school as well. Okay, many people are confusing graduation with their degree, with their bachelor's. Do not do that. Okay, I'm a graduate of computer science from this university. That is a correct sentence. You can use that after my graduation I went for a job. I was in quest of a job. That is correct. Which means after the ceremony you started looking for a job. Right? Never say while I was doing my graduation, I learned these skills. No, you were not learning the skills when you were actually presented on that date on which you were receiving your degree or diploma. While I was pursuing my bachelor's, I did this, I did that. That's what you can speak. Okay? So remember introduction, your tenses. So what I was saying, do you work or do you study? What you can simply say, do you work or do you study? Well, I'm doing neither of these. I'm currently working on my English linguistics because I'm planning to go abroad for my settlement. Besides, I just help out my family members in household chores or domestic chores, anything you can say. Right? If you're currently studying, then do mention, do you work or do you study? Well, I'm currently pursuing Bachelor's of Arts or Bachelor's of Computer Science from this university. I'm in my final year. Finish. Do you work or do you study? I'm currently employed as an, whatever designation you have. So let's say I'm currently employed as an engineer in Softech company. It's been around 2 years I've been working here. More than enough. Okay, but never give past into it. These are warm-up like questions. Whatever tense they will be asking you, you have to speak in that. Did you like the same color when you were a child? No, not really, because to be very frank, I don't know what color I liked during my childhood. So I was too small to understand the difference between those old colors. Whatever my mother was purchasing for me, I was pretty okay with it. Okay, right. So any question comes in future. Would you like to change your name in future? No, absolutely not. Even if I get the opportunity, I wouldn't do it because that would be completely disrespect for my family who named me. Okay, so these kind of responses you can simply give. Cue card, past, present, future. Now here you just add up a description. If the cue card is coming to you in a present tense, then you still need to speak something in past tense, because the relation, how did you get interested into it? How did you come to know about this? Then your description you're giving in present tense. All in all, you can simply end up by saying, all in all, why I would like to, would somewhere will be used to represent your future, right? So introduction. Now many people again start their cue card by saying, well, and never say thanks for giving the opportunity to speak on this thing. Come on, you're not giving a speech over there. It's a very friendly talk. Don't say this, crammy words. Thank you for having giving me the opportunity to speak this. Okay. Two ways I would recommend you to start your cue card. Either use grammar structure. Now, simple grammar structure is ing, gerund form, verb, right? So, for example, your first cue card till today is talk about a toy that you liked during your childhood. Talk about a toy. With toy, what do? We play with them. So, playing, you can start. This is how you can start your entire cue card. Playing with toys, right? When? During childhood. Is, right? For example, I can say, rather than writing, I can just quickly wrap up. Playing with toys during childhood is an indispensable part of every child. Then you can see, give reasons. So today, let me just speak about one particular toy that was I was obsessed with, right? Because you were talking about light, I was obsessed with, and that is, then you can speak on that. Okay, any cue card, talk about a skill that you would like to learn. Learn, so learning, right? Either you can use grammar or lexical. Lexical means that you use some kind of expression. Okay, that is how you give out a journal statement. Then you speak about, start with your topic. Expression means there is not even an iota of doubt that, right, there's not even an iota of doubt that toys plays an indispensable role in every child's development, right? That toys plays an indispensable, how? As they not only improve their coordination skill but also cognitive development, right? So there is not even an iota of doubt. This thing will catch the examiner's attention. That thing comes into lexicals. But if you do start from, well, actually, I'm going to speak from, I'm going to speak about, right? This thing is you're starting to basic thing. That's why you're not getting any extra thing in terms of your speech. Okay? So first is this thing. Last thing, you must use 3 to 4 C2 based vocab words in your entire speaking. One or two, not more than that, right? Two, definitely I would recommend at least idiomatic expressions. Right? I have prepared video on my YouTube on this. Idiomatic expressions. Now, that too unfamiliar one. Don't use this thing like cup of tea, icing on the cake. These are very common. Cup of tea, very common idiom. Don't use that. Okay? So there are other one or two idiomatic expressions, not together, right? We can use one in like introduction, one in cue card for sure, right? C2 based. Remember, this is CPR level, right? C2 based vocabulary, any unfamiliar vocabulary, it needs to be there. Some kind of grammar structure needs to be there. Sorry about my handwriting. It's just I have another sessions after this, so I'm just quickly wrapping up. Grammar structures. What it means when it comes to plus verb ing. When it comes to eating, I'm very fond of this thing, right? That is second, if then structure. If can be replaced by should also. Should you work hard, you will pass, right? Next grammatical structure, you can also say the more people will do this, the better it will happen. The more, the better, the more, the sooner, the later, whatever it is, this is a grammatical structure. Then definitely not only, but also, this is one. Then ing somewhere starting, right? You can use this. Definitely conjunctions, although, even though, this needs to be there, right? And then many people use but with although. Don't use that, it is not grammatically correct. Even in writing they use it, although this thing has happened, but this thing, however, yet, it's not a structure. Although we always put comma. Similarly in speaking also, you don't say but with although. Okay, although I was very good in mathematics, believe me, I never got good marks when I was in school, right? It can always contradict like that. Then, although, you also must use unless or until somewhere, right? These are few grammatical structure that needs to be shown, right? Okay. So because of this thing, otherwise, like owing to, don't do that, okay, in your speaking, because nobody does that, right? You need to sound like a native speaker. Okay. I hope this all things were clear to you. If you have any query, do send us a WhatsApp message, right? I'll definitely would, represent you this thing more detail. I'll be keep updating my videos on YouTube, for essays. Now, in terms of our education, my institute, right? I have other tutors as well. We do provide offline. We are located in Patiala also at the moment. Now we're working on two more branches at the same time. Another thing, we have online sessions, online classes also in morning batch. We have few slots available. Should you be interested, take a free demo class. It doesn't matter. I do look out completely in task one, task two. We have another tutors as well, right? But I look after task two and speaking specifically. Okay, what you get is basically you will be doing your speaking, combined speaking with me in a batch, right? Then what I do, I separate you all. Okay, on Zoom sessions, we all conduct our these classes, and on Zoom, you get another opportunity of 30 minutes to speak with another tutors to practice speaking on daily basis. Every Saturday, there is a mock test, right? And whatever I cover every week, 1 week I cover one piece of instruction words like agree, disagree, then, various topics I do. One essay I do in my classroom, and then I give another as a homework, right? So it creates you that kind of momentum so that you can get yourself delved into writing that thing. Okay. Similarly, in task two, you need to do some C2 based words, right? No idioms at all, no informal expressions in task two. It's all has to be very formal. Okay. I hope this lecture was very beneficial to you all. Thank you so much, and you have a very lovely day ahead.